Hello, and welcome to the Saturday Morning Board Game Show. I'm Jonah.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Anna.
Ryan.
Hannah.
And we have lots of fun things packed in this episode, like always. So if it's your first time watching, welcome. And what we're going to do is go back and forth between the couch and the table, talking about some of the games that we've gotten to play or that we want to show you in case you might want to play them. We've also got a little bit of a recap from TantrumCon that just happened last week, right?
Correct.
I have to ask because the time stops moving during that couple days, so.
That's fair.
Great, and we've also got a big shout out to our sponsors. We've got a few sponsors for the Saturday Morning Board Game Show, which are the OP, and I believe, are we looking at any OP games today, anybody?
No, but we do have some we could talk about.
Yeah, so the OP has sponsored us. Today's episode doesn't specifically have any OP games, but we show lots of their games on our channel, so you have to pay attention if you want to see those. And another one of our sponsors is Game Toppers, LLC, which on both shots, the table and the couch, we are using our Game Toppers. And we've got lots of mats and all sorts of things, and they're awesome.
And the Game Toppers mug.
Yeah. So we appreciate you, Berkey. Thanks for sponsoring us. But for right now, are we ready?
Absolutely.
I think so. We're going to shoot over to the table and talk about our first game.
Hello, welcome to the table. We're talking about Age of Rome from Teetotum. I know that you're all interested in how Rome's doing, so let's talk about it a little bit.
And we should probably introduce ourselves. Melissa,
Kevin,
since we didn't get introduced at the beginning.
that's all right.
All right, so Age of Rome is... Wow, there's a lot going on in this game.
There's a lot going on.
We've set it up kind of as if it's in mid-game or partial game, so we can show you some of the things that happen during it, because some things don't happen in the first round, because you have to set them up.
It's like a phase-based game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and it plays up to 4?
Yeah, I believe 4 players.
4 players?
Yep.
It's on the side there. Yep, 1 to 4. So the game, you're trying to get the most points, like most games, Euro-style games.
Yep.
We have a handy-dandy player sheet that kind of walks through the phases of the game. So basically what happens during the round, and there are 9 rounds, because I can read Roman numerals.
Going to Rome, Melissa.
Yep, there are 9 rounds in the game, and then we start off the round by activating any schemes. Now, schemes are something you have to set up in a previous round.
Which Melissa did.
Which I did. Actually, we start by flipping an event card during the scheme phase.
Yeah.
So we flip an event card, and it's going to tell us something.
Ooh.
Players draw a plan card, take it into their hand. They choose any from their hand and return it to the bottom of the deck.
Ooh.
These are like end game goals that we're trying to achieve.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
And
it's going to give you points.
Yeah, you should have a few already in your hand. So...
But you're going to choose one.
Yep, some events are like whoever has the most of this gets a benefit, all sorts of things. The other thing that the event card is going to show us is the direction of play. So it's going to go to the left.
2 times. But not right now.
And then at the end of the round, this board is going to rotate, and it tells us how it rotates.
So that's what I was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can only basically interact with the section that is in front of you.
Right.
So this round, I'm interacting with this section, and Kevin's interacting with that section.
So the yellow player over here is looking at this quadrant of the board.
Mm-hmm. So we've done that. We know what's going to happen at the end of the round. I'm going to get this board for next round. Kevin's going to get this one.
Yeah, so it's sort of like you're always like planning ahead. There's a lot of planning going on in this game. And you're like, oh, what's happening over there? What's that player doing?
Mm-hmm.
How's that going to affect what I'm doing? But then you're also looking at what you can actually do on your board as well.
Right. So now we go to schemes. I previously put a scheme out, and it is in front of Kevin. So I can activate my scheme on him, and then I have 3 actions on my board that I could activate. I'm going to say I'm going to remove one of his Parthenon pieces.
Yes.
So he has a Parthenon that he started building. I just destroyed that.
I think these schemes are probably the most, not only player interactive, but maybe feel the most, if you want to say, mean in the game.
Yes.
So it really depends on the players in the game. Mm-hmm. How much are they going to rely on those schemes or not?
Right. Also, when I do a scheme, I take one of my fate tokens and put it on his board.
Yeah.
I cannot do any schemes if I don't have any of these tokens left.
And if someone has their schemes all filled, if it's all filled up, no one can scheme against you.
So there is kind of that balancing that you can't just keep hammering other players, or a specific player can't get attacked so many times.
We should get into the meat of the game.
All right, so next thing that we're doing now is the building phase, and we have all these acrylic tiles that will be stacked.
Yeah, did you already know what you're going to build?
No, but
since we're just sort of showing you what the game's about, these acrylic tiles sort of go on the board, and I want to build this one. And on the board, it tells you how much it costs. This costs $4. Next, and I put this piece on here, and they're all sort of have icons that tell you where to place the buildings and things like that. But you can see on the, I'll bring this in. These are all the different buildings that you can build in the game. I pulled from this stack.
Level 1.
Level 1, there's level 2 and level 3. So you have to build a level 2 on top, a level 3 on top of level 2. They get more expensive as you go up, but you get better stuff. They look really cool when they're all stacked on top of each other. Also, I wanted to do this because I have a special benefit to get green cards later in the game. So there is a little bit, like we talked about, the planning aspect. There is a lot more planning going on in the building aspect as well. So after building, we all build. What happens next?
All right, so we all build. You build as many things as you want, and you have money for it. Then we go to the actions phase, and right now we only have 2 people. Are workers, so it's kind of like worker placement now. And you can go onto buildings that are built
in your area.
Yep,
once again.
You can decide to put a scheme out. You can...
There's a whole list of things you can do.
Right. Most of them are going to buildings, and then there are a few other things that don't need a building.
Yeah.
So I have dumb buildings here.
Yeah, that's okay. We're not going to actually do that. But you're going to get resources, like a lot of things that you do in worker placement games.
I could go out here with my +1, and I get to put 2 people out onto regions because there is a
the area control.
At the bottom of the
board.
board.
Like Melissa said at the beginning, there is a lot going on in this game, but it all sort of makes sense as you go through the different phases in the game.
Yeah, there are cards, the green building that Kevin got, it's kind of a set collection, and they also give you actions, so you can spend them for actions, or you can save them to get set collection and points at the end of the game.
So the other big thing in the game, I think, is...
There's the tower that you're building.
Like I said, there's a lot going on. I think we should talk a little bit, before we close here, just the table presence. So we have a lot, not only going into the gameplay, but the game itself, the table presence. There is, like, the acrylic pieces, the wooden pieces that the tokens that the players... The Parthenon that you're building. And everything, you can see, has these... plastic inserts that everything goes back really nice and packed really nice back in the box. So everything fits very well in the game.
Yeah, so I would say this is definitely on the higher end of player interaction.
Yeah.
And some of it's positive, but a lot of also like jockeying for control and potentially attacking other people with your schemes.
Yeah. So if you want to learn more about Age of Rome, check it out online or check your local game store. From Teetotum, back to the couch.
Hello! We are playing a prototype of the game Four Forests. This is about to launch on Kickstarter on Tuesday from Gold Seal Games. And one of the reasons I want to show this off is because the designer, John Jewell, this is one of his first games being published. He's also in charge of the camp prototype at TantrumCon. So we just got to hang out with him last week. And check out this game. And in this game, everything is based on sets of 4. So everyone's going to be dealt 4 cards. You're going to set up 4 of the cards that we're going to use for scoring in the game. That comes with a big deck of them, and you'll pick 4. There's gnomes and elves and turtles and merfolk and phoenix.
Did you say twartles?
Twartles, yes. And
Turtles.
turtles. And
Orals.
there are 4 actions we're going to take each round. The first action is cultivate. So we have already done this on round 2. We started playing while they were talking about Age of Rome. We will place a card down in our tableau to score at the end of the game. So we all did that. Our next action is to harvest or burn. And so we will take a card from our hand and we will place it on one of the 4 creatures. And if you place it face up, the correct orientation, We'll we'll flip it over though, so you don't know what I voted. It's like a thumbs up, a +1. If you flip it upside down, when you lay it down, then it is a down vote. So at the end of the game, we will calculate which one of these creatures has the highest number of votes, and it will be assigned a 4-point value. So all the cards that match that scoring in your set of cards will be worth 4 points, and then 3, 2, and one of them will be a -1. So those will be assigned at the end of the game. So we are to the phase where we need to vote. And Anna is up first. Okay. I will vote over here. All right. Next, we pollinate, which is we will pass a card to our neighbors clockwise, and then we're going to prune, which is trash a card. And I'm going to trash that. And then we will draw, that's the end of the round, we will draw 4 more cards. So we're going to play one more round, and then we will score at 3 rounds instead of 4, because we're running out of time. All right, so Ryan is now our first player.
Boom.
Boom, got one down quick.
I'm cultivating.
You're cultivating, okay. I will play this. Yes, there is a, thank you, Cora Lou. There is a Kickstarter link. All right, next up is voting, harvesting, Ryan.
Okay.
So
Harvest.
no BGG page yet, but this is launching on Tuesday. Next, I will vote. Let's see here. I will vote that.
I was gonna do.
Okay. Then we will pollinate, pass a card. And, oops,
Ah, I didn't see it.
it's okay.
Except I
And
kind of
then
did.
you will prune a card. So I'm gonna do that. All right. Normally we'd play one more round, so we'd have 8 cards in our tableau. But at the end of the game, the cards in your hand will also be added to your tableau, and we'll see how the voting worked. This one has a +1. This one has, +4, so I'm guessing that's going to get this. This one has a -1.
Oh.
This one has a -2 +1, so this, it cancels out, but I think there's rules about how this, but I think this one actually gets assigned that. All right, so now we would score. Each card that fits this description is going to be worth 4 points.
Okay.
And that's how the game plays. It's really, it says 30 minutes. The games I've played have been, you could do in 15, really.
Okay.
This is a very interesting filler. The rules are very simple, so it's just doing these 4 things. There's an advanced variant where the start player for the round can pick what order to do these in.
Okay.
And that changes up. But there's a lot of strategy in which cards that you want to try and get out and then vote. You don't know what those point values are going to be till everybody's done voting at the end of the game. So that's 4 Forest Gold Seal Games coming to Kickstarter on Tuesday. Back to our new set.
Hello, welcome to the new set. We're doing a little bit things different in 2024. We're gonna add some special segments, and today's special segments are gonna all center around TantrumCon. I know you all are excited to hear what we thought and what some of the statistics were statistics.
That's a hard word.
Statistics were for TantrumCon. Hannah and I are going to be talking about the library, some games that were checked out, and the play-to-win area. So what do we want to do first?
Which you want to start with the library?
Let's do the library
Okay.
first. Yeah.
So we have over 900 games in our library, and games were checked out about 825 times. But some of those are more popular than others. So first we're going to start with our honorable mentions and then go through the top 10 really quickly. I will say, so some of the honorable mentions, and of course my sheet just went away. So honorable mentions, Raising Robots in Silver were very popular this year. But the one that surprised me the most was Pitch Car. It is an older game. You are basically creating a track and racing your cars around. If you've played Pitch Car, you should tell us in the comments whether or not you've played it. But we had people check out this game and combine it with the copy they brought and created these massive tracks. And they did it multiple times. You can go look on our Facebook page and see some of the pictures that people posted.
Very cool.
And I will say, this is the game that I judged the harshest when I was putting games on the library shelves. And I was like, no one's going to play that. And it was like the 5th game checked out.
Yep.
So it told me
over.
that I should not go based on my opinion. But let's go through the top
10.
10 really fast. Starting with number 10, we have Bonsai. 9, Art Society. 8, The Veil of Eternity.
Ooh, that's a good one.
7, Flamecraft. 6, Apiary. 5, Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Okay.
4, Forest Shuffle.
Nice.
3, Sky Team. 2, Boop. And what do you think our number 1 was?
I see the list.
You see the list. So we had a brand new game that we got to play that was very popular. Our number 1 most checked out game was Wormspan.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so I think that 2 and 3, Sky Team and Boop, were probably popular not only because they're newer games, but because they play 2 players.
Absolutely.
So it's probably easier for people to check them out, play them with their, significant other.
Absolutely.
And they're fast to play. Thank you from the peanut gallery in the back over there. So before we go to the couch, I have our top play to wins. And, okay, thank you. I have a story about Wormspan after we finish our play to wins. And you'll notice some crossovers from from the library to the play to wins, some games that are similar.
Yep.
So I'm going to start. We have a lot of... Okay, there were probably over 100 games in the play-to-win area.
We have a lot.
And TantrumCon, maybe I'll not spoil the number of attendees till we get to our TantrumCon recap segment in a little bit, but over 100 games in the play-to-win area, and we're going to go through some of the top games that were checked out from the play-to-win area. So we have Echidna Shuffle, we have Expeditions from Stonemaier, Beer and Bread, Parkade, Junk Drawer from 25th Century, Furnace, that is from Arcane Wonders. We have Art Society. That was, I'm going to start doing the number of times checked out here since we're getting to the top 6 or 7. Art Society, 71 times checked out. 72 times, Splitto, small little card game. I think that was on Will's top 10 or Sarah's top 10, 2023. Donut Shop, from 85 times. Agueda, 89 times. Those are both from 25th Century, I think. Let's see. Robot Quest Arena, 100 times.
Wow.
I think that may have been checked out not only because it's very popular, a very new game, but Derek Funkhauser from Wise Wizard was also there. I'm sure he was pushing it as well. Number 3 checked out game, from the play to win area is Apiary, 120 times. And that was one of the ones that were checked out at the...
Apiary is number 6.
Okay. That was number 2. Robot Quest Arena was number 3. Number 1, can you guess?
It's the exact same.
Wormspan, 123 times.
Yep.
So, now, we did allow people who checked them out from the library, because we had a Wormspan copy, they could also sign up in the play-to-win area. So that's probably why that number was a little bit higher. So I do have a Wormspan story before we go to the couch. So we were not sure if Wormspan was going to be at TantrumCon. We all left Wednesday to go up to Charlotte, which is about an hour and a half from Greenville. Traveled on up to the convention center, and no Wormspan. We did not know that we did not have Wormspan to take with us, but I knew Wormspan was coming. Yep. But it didn't. We had a shipping notice from Stonemaier Games. They said it was on its way. I found out Thursday that it was arriving in Greenville. So I'm calling people, talking to people at TantrumCon. Are you still do you know friends that are in Greenville that are coming up? We'd love to pick it up at their house and bring it up with us. So we finally found a friend of a friend of a friend, and they went to our house and picked up the copies of Wormspan and brought it up to us. And they arrived, I think, Thursday late afternoon.
Yep.
So just in time when people were. When we opened the convention hall, we got to put it in the play-to-win area in the board game library, and people were able to play it all weekend. So that was great. Thank you, Stonemaier Games, for letting us have those copies to share with our convention attendees. Yes. So I think we're ready to go back to the couch.
Well, hello. We are looking at Faraway from Pandasaurus Games.
This is a card game tableau building game.
Okay.
I don't know if Kevin plans to come and join us. If not, maybe he can come a little later and.
Okay, now.
All right. I did deal you a hand.
Ooh.
We're gonna play just a few rounds, and then I'll have Kevin actually set up a scoring scenario.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen is we all have 3 cards in our hand.
Yep.
They have a number in the left corner. Some of them have a resource that they provide in the right corner. And then a lot of them have scoring at the bottom. What's gonna happen is we're all gonna simultaneously lay a card, flip it over, and then lowest person gets to pick from the display first.
Yep.
We're gonna lay out, I forget how many. Why don't you
a number.
look? Let's just say I'm gonna make up a number, Kevin's gonna correct me. Say we're gonna have like 8 rounds or something like that.
8th and last round.
Oh.
Yay! I picked correctly. What's gonna happen is they're gonna be laid out from the beginning to the end. When we go to scoring, we flip them all upside down and then we score from right to left. So if this card says you need one of each color, but it's your rightmost card, none of those other cards are face up yet.
Okay.
So the cards that you play early on will have lots of cards to
I
choose
think you
from.
just sort of have to.
Yes, I just wanted to get that. So right now, just pick a card. If on the second round you play a card that is a higher value than the first one you played, you get to draw these extra cards that do good things.
Okay.
All right.
So you don't have to play higher, but there's a benefit
and then
for
we'll
playing
reveal.
higher.
I have 45, 17,
17.
3.
5.
So Anna gets to pick first from over here. These cards go into your hand, so it's not like you have to play them next. It's just like they go into your hand
The
for
options that you have.
later. Yep.
5.
Bam.
I will take 23.
And I will take 44.
The last one gets
Yep, discard them. We put 5 more out. And then we play again.
starting with, I think whoever was. Oh, it's
It's not-
simultaneous.
unless it's
Yep,
simultaneous.
Simultaneous.
Yep.
All right.
And then we reveal. I have 46. So the first thing we do before we start picking cards is, did anybody play a higher value than the one to the left?
I did.
Okay?
Yes.
Shouldn't-
And yours
Did you
goes
play 5 first?
this way.
There we go.
Oh, it goes that way.
Yes, there we
Okay.
go.
My bad.
Yes. Play left to right, score
Left
right
to
to
right.
So you're
Okay.
getting a map card.
Yay.
Anna's getting a map. Everyone.
She's getting 2
Woo.
and gets to
Oh,
pick 1.
Would I get 2 as well?
Because you have a map on your thing, I only get 1.
So,
Kevin gets
I get
2.
2 as well. So because I picked 2, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, nice. Because I played a higher card and it has a map card, I pick 2. I choose one of these.
1
and
to keep and 1 to discard.
Might as well
Okay.
take that
And
one.
these are played face up.
Yep.
So mine gives me an extra symbol. Am I on
You
video?
just show it, Melissa. over
Yep.
here.
Mine gives me an extra symbol that will score for everything. It will be available.
Which is nice. And map points or map icons are worth a point at the end of the game.
And I have a card here. I only get to score this if I have 2 of those symbols.
We
Some
already
of them
did
have
5
requirements.
minutes.
All right. Well, that
yeah.
at least gets the.
Yep.
Why
So,
don't you lay out
I'm
some
gonna
things?
I'm gonna lay out some more cards. Just pretend I got
Boom,
this
boom.
card, this card, this card. Oh, I didn't do it in the right order. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, there's 8 cards. Then they all flip face down. And
Probably have a few more. of
thank you,
these.
Melissa. So then, at the end of the game, you're going to turn this card over and say, how is this card? Oh, 24 points if currently I had 5 of those resources. I have none of those resources, but there's ways that you can get some cards. So that would be worth a lot of points if I could
Usually, your
score.
rightmost one isn't going to score.
Right.
Okay.
Then this one, maybe I was going after those
Yeah.
blue ones, you know?
Kevin randomly put them out
Yeah.
instead of actually picking ones that would score.
That's fine. And then if I had those resources, every deer icon's worth 4 points. So this one is, I need 2 deer and 2 pineapples, 19 points.
Let's say that one's there.
Oh, thanks, Melissa. And then this one is every map icon's worth 2 points. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, so it's 6 points.
Nice.
And then this one is in order to score this, I needed
So you have
those
to kind of
icons.
keep in mind what requirements you need
Yep.
as you build out.
And then like,
Okay.
then I would score 13 points if I had 3 of those icons. So currently I had one of those blue icons total.
Right.
But it didn't really matter.
Hopefully you wouldn't randomly be putting cards out like Kevin did
Hopefully.
at the end.
But that's the general idea on how how you score backwards. It's kind of like, oh, what am I doing?
It was definitely an interesting, like when we played, it's like, oh yeah, and then sometimes you're thinking, oh, I have the stuff, but you're not thinking, oh, this card is to the right, so I don't actually have it yet.
Yeah.
I need to forward think of
That's
what I can
interesting.
get.
Yeah. All right, over to the table.
All right, so we are looking at the new Icecool Wizards coming from Brain Games. Now, Xander's going to give us a really quick rundown. As you can tell, I still don't have my voice back from TantrumCon, which is great. Too much fun over there. Give us the rundown on what the original Icecool was like.
The original Icecool is there's a hall monitor, and he's trying to hit all the other penguins to win the game.
Yeah, so nice and simple. They got the first version, lots of fun. They added more boxes, so it's bigger and more colors in the new second Icecool, Icecool 2. And then in Icecool Wizards, instead of being one versus many, everybody has their own. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. So we're all against each other competitively. We are students at the wizard school.
Perfect.
Because penguins are wizards, as everyone knows. I don't know how that twist came. But in the schoolroom, we've got a bunch of different classrooms. And each classroom, we're going to be able to learn a different subject. And so we've got the different subject matters that are the dark blue cards. We are going to be... You want to go first?
Sure. I guess I'll
The
go
youngest is first. That's one of the rules. Start on the starting spot. And I should have set it up so that you could get something girly on your team. But if you pass over a subject, you learn it.
Okay.
And you get to collect that card. So see what you can do. I guess you can get that.
How
one.
often is the card immediately replaced?
At the end of your turn. Oh, very nice. Whoa!
Oh,
So it has to land on it or touch it?
It only has to touch it. So you cross this one off. So he's going to get he's learning about sharks. I don't know what that is. If he had made it all the way through that doorway, which he almost did, he would have collected that subject.
yeah.
He does get 2 flicks, though. In this game, unlike the original, you get 2 flicks on your turn, which
Okay.
I super love. It's way
Yeah.
better that way.
get up over here.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. He got
Wow.
3. All right, so he's got them all. He learned 3 different subjects on his turn. He gets to keep these in his inventory. Some of them, as you can maybe see, have special powers on them, so he could potentially flick again if he wants to use that
Okay.
one. And then once your turn is done, you check to see how many subjects have been removed. You replace them with 3 new ones. If they're in a doorway, you got to go all the way through the doorway to get it. If it's just in a room, you got to get into that room.
If 2 of them come out, they just go on top of each other?
They get reshuffled back in,
Okay.
with 3 different ones. You can go next if you want to. You have to
where
start
do I
right here. Starting point.
Okay.
The
can
idea is that you pick up subjects and then you fulfill the exams. So Xander's pretty set to get
I
to
know
the
there's
exams.
no chance. If I hit Xander's penguin, does that have what happens?
You get to steal some of his knowledge.
Okay, that is
Steal
not
some
gonna.
knowledge.
I'm just gonna pull it towards me and see what happens.
Okay, that's 1. You get 2.
Oh, okay.
If you can get through that doorway and that, you can maybe get 2 pieces of
It is
knowledge.
very
And you can
difficult.
hit
You
me.
can stand up normally
On
in
a
this
real,
game.
I would still.
Oh, very
you
nice.
hit
Look
me,
at
yeah.
you. All right, so you cross this one
Okay.
and this one.
And you hit
Oh,
me.
you almost got it. You
Yes.
could take this exam
Yes.
if you had the jaws. You did hit Xander.
If I take the jaws from him, and now that I have them, can I take the exam?
You may.
Okay, so
No.
I turn these. Do I
Good
turn
point.
these in?
Yep, they go in the box.
And I get to take this.
Uh-huh.
Keep my little. Okay.
That's a good start. That's a
Okay.
really good start. And then we keep populating. There should always be 3 lessons out on the board.
Unfortunately,
So we pull
this
out a new
isn't a
one.
real game, so I'm getting.
You don't
points
get credit for
already.
winning, yeah. And then anytime there's an exam, and the exam comes out, and that's really the gist of the game. We're going to be going back and forth, flicking, trying to get through as many doors as we can to collect as many lessons as we can, and then trying to get, I didn't make it, to hit each other, to steal those lessons from each other. The game ends once the lesson deck is empty, so once we don't have any more of these.
Okay.
And then we total up points. Whoever has the most, you've got 6 right now. They're from like 1, 3, 6, 9 pointers in the game.
How young do you think you can play this with?
Oh, for sure younger than Xander, because
Yeah.
it's just a matter of flicking and recognizing
It's just the
icons.
dexterity and okay.
Yeah, and the cool thing is these cards do have powers on them, which is pretty neat. This one you can trash somebody else's card. Everybody else has to trash a card.
Okay.
You get the extra flick. We saw that one
Yeah,
you
I really
only
do
play
like
the
power
powers
cards.
on your turn.
on your turn,
Okay.
but you can play them as soon as you get them. You don't have to wait a turn. You can get it and immediately trash everybody.
But they can't trash my points.
They cannot. Your points
Okay.
are locked in. They also have some
Fantastic.
wild cards that can be used as any other thing in the game.
Nice.
The thing that I haven't tried yet, that I assume is true, but I actually don't know, it'd be breaking the rules, is can you combine these with other games, and so we definitely are going to try to pull out all of our other boxes and see if we can make a mega school.
How would you get the doorways to line up?
That's what I don't know.
on the
It would be a
edges?
puzzle, so everything does stack into
Stack
itself, which is
somehow.
pretty cool. And I think you could stick another one in between and do it. I don't know.
That would be,
We're gonna try
if
it.
you could do it with Pitch Car, I think you could do it with Icecool too.
Exactly. If not, they're going to definitely have Wizards 2, where they'll have
Yes.
4 more colors and it'll be bigger. They'd be missing out if they didn't.
This
So,
is really cute.
Yeah, this one's fun. I actually did. What did you think? Did you like this better than Icecool or the same amount?
I think I like the gameplay more, where you're like trying to get the powers and all this stuff. But I think the original, just like flicking it, is really fun on Icecool one.
The original one is definitely about like who is the better flicker.
Yeah.
There's a little more luck in this one, but also
Okay.
you have like goals that you're trying to get. So I enjoyed this one. I thought this was a little more strategic, add a little more to the dexterity side.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing with me. That was fun.
Yeah, that was
Let's
fun.
head back over to the couch.
Welcome back to the couch. I'm going to show you Couture. I don't know how to pronounce that very well. I did not take French in high school. I took German. But basically, we are fashion models, and we are trying to be the hottest thing on the runway. That's the basic premise of this game. And so we are going to be bidding, and we're going to be using cards as bidding devices, and we are going to try to be getting cards from different locations, and we're going to be scoring those cards factors. So there's going to be 3 locations. There's New York, Paris, and Tokyo. I've been to 2 of those places. I've not been to Paris.
Well done.
Da, da, da. One of these days I want to go to Paris. But basically what we'll do is each of us is going to start out with the same hand of cards. If you look in here, there's going to be a number in the upper left of your card. That is how much points that is worth for your bidding phase. And you're going to place down your New York and Paris and Tokyo cards. And all of us will place these down face down. And we're going to be bidding for first pick of each of these locations. Different cards do different things. So the way that we're going to score at the end of the game, some of these cards, these editorial cards, these are just going to be 2 points straight up for every one that you have. There's going to be these other cards that they give you 4 points for bidding. However, they're going to give you -2 points at the end of the game. So this could be a powerful card to play over the course of the game, but you want to try to get it out of your hand by the end of the game. These guys right here, these little symbols, they're going to score on this basically unique. So for each of these symbols that is a unique symbol, you can get up to for example, if you have 2 unique cards, that's 2 points at the end of the game. If you can get up to 5, that's 8 points at the end of the game. And then different ones. So this one, these little symbols down here, this is going to remove one of your bidding cards. That's how you get rid of your bad ones. And then this one you just get to add to your hand, and that's an additional bidding card that you have throughout the game. So we'll go ahead and show, we'll play a few rounds so you can see how it works. So basically, you are bidding for first pick in each of these areas.
So I put a card like here, here, and here?
Yep, and you actually use your entire hand. So you would put cards face down in the areas that you would want to pick. You need to be careful because there's also bad cards. If you have the most of these thumbs down, that's a flop. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most of each of those, you're going to have to take these magazines, and one of them's worth -5, -3, -1.
I have never played this one before, so this is new to me.
Yep.
Dun, dun.
All right, now that all of them are down, so we're going to flip over. So we're going to score New York. I have 5 points on New York.
I have 3.
2.
Okay. So I get to choose first. This little symbol, this little, I don't know,
Thread.
needle and thread. There we go. I was thinking thimble, but I knew that word was not correct. Whoever has the most of those symbols, at the end of the game, we're going to score, and you get first place, haute couture, and that's going to be worth 7 points, 5 points, 3 points, respectively. And then there's a streetwear card that we don't have. So I will just choose one of these unique symbols, and I'll put that off to the side here.
Then I would be next.
And then Melissa
Alright.
goes third. Okay, the second one. So I have 1 point here.
I've got 3.
2.
Okay, so Anna goes first.
Straight point.
I'll get another unique symbol.
Okay, and I'm going to get this card, which is -1 bidding power, but it's 2 points at the end of the game. And then the Tokyo,
I have 3.
I have 1.
1 as well.
Okay, so Melissa goes first.
I'll just take the 2 points at the bottom.
Okay. Now, Anna and I both have 1. However, so if you tie, then you look at the second number, and whoever has the lower number actually gets to go next. So actually, Anna is going to get to go next on this one because hers is 14, mine's 18. And I got the flop, so that is not good for me. That is the first round. And then what we would do is we would replenish all of these cards. And then we do it again. So if you...
So some people might have more cards for bidding, or you have one that's a negative that's going to...
Yeah, so that's going to negatively affect whether I get anything from there. So that's basically how that's going to go down. And so mine, I actually just added this to my deck. Someone...
I picked up the agent, and that one, you'd remove one.
Yeah, so she would maybe remove her one card or whatever that looks like. So... what does our time segment look like? Are we playing another round? Okay.
I think we're going.
All right, so that's Couture.
I'll play.
Back to the segment place.
The wall.
Segment plays! We're coming at you with my top 5 things you probably didn't know about TantrumCon.
And I'm here to let you know if I knew them or not.
And also to fact check me because some of these might be made up. Here we go. The number 5 thing that you may not have known about TantrumCon is that the table flipping tournament started off as a sarcastic remark.
I did not know this.
When we started telling people about TantrumCon, literally the first 5 people I told, the first question out of their mouth was, "What are you gonna do, TantrumCon? You gonna throw tables?" And I laughed the first time, and then the second...
because of TantrumCon.
Yeah, the second time I was like, that's pretty funny. Third time I was like, dang it, yes! There will be table flips. I don't know what that means, how it's going to happen. That's where table flipping came from. Random remarks from Smart Alex. Number 4. The number 4 thing you probably didn't know about TantrumCon is that the game Donut Shop, which we mentioned earlier in Kevin's list, from 25th Century Games, was actually discovered and signed at TantrumCon 2022.
I did know this, actually.
You might have known. Did you know at home? Chad Elkins sat down with, is it Alms? Oh no, I can't remember his name. Jeffrey Allers. Not Alms. Sorry, Jeffrey. You're probably watching the show. I feel bad that I couldn't remember your name. Jeffrey Allers sat down with him at TantrumCon, pitched the game, sold it, booked it, published it, and then this year at TantrumCon, we had our Tournameal. How'd that go? You were
Tournameal was actually awesome. So not only did we play Donut Shop, kind of first thing in the morning, 9 a.m. It was not first thing, 9 a.m. in the morning, but we also had coffee and donuts to go along with Donut Shop. Perfect. 25th Century Games was kind enough to give every family that came a copy of 2 other 25th Century Games as well. Not to mention, we wore these little donut hats, and I wore a donut
I peeked
apron.
in. I was late I stayed up way too late, and
awesome.
I peeked in, and I was like, they got a whole donut shop happening in this place.
It was a good time.
It looked fantastic. The number 3 thing you might not have known is that Galactic Cruise, which is coming to Kickstarter this March.
I knew this.
It was actually won our Proto-Tank competition last year, 2023, as the number 1 game that we were anticipating. And this year it's coming to Kickstarter, and I would guess it's probably the number 1 game anticipated for the spring. Everybody is talking about Galactic Cruise from Kinson Key Games. Check that one out.
I did know that, and the reason I knew that is because last year at TantrumCon, I hosted Proto-Tank, and I thought to myself, wow, Galactic Cruise looks pretty good. And then so just in case the people at home don't know, our Proto-Tank, or is it called?
Proto-Tank, yeah. Proto-Tank.
Okay, anyway.
Pitch shit, I don't know what it is. It's Proto-Tank.
We call it Proto-Tank. Anyway, it's an opportunity for you at home, if you are working on a game, developing a game, have a prototype of a game, to come and show your game off to a few board game designers or publishers or companies and whoever's in the room.
We got the real deals in the room.
Last year, when Galactic Cruise made its debut at TantrumCon, I believe we had representatives from a few different publishers in the room.
Daryl Andrews was there.
And also some designers. And so it got a lot of love and a lot of praise, and then blew up since then, actually.
Fantastic.
So I knew that.
I just realized I need next month, we're going to have sound effects. It's going to be like...
Do you need a microphone?
You got the broken glass? Can you do the broken glass effect? That's what I need. Oh, that's good. All right, number 2. Professional comedian Grant Lyon performed his first board game comedy routine at TantrumCon in 2022 before then heading out to Gen Con Origins and all the other big cons. He came back this year to reprise what was actually a brand new show. I think there was probably only maybe 10 jokes total that I heard the first year. So all new content. He's really massaged it a lot, but his debut of that routine was at TantrumCon.
I knew that.
Thank you very much. The number one thing that you may not have known, which was a surprise to me and I thought was fantastic, was that typically when we go to a venue to sign our contract for year after year shows for TantrumCon, when we went to the Le Meridian this year to ask for our signed contract, they actually refused to give us a multi-year contract out of the gate. And when we pressed them to find out what the deal was and why, their reason was simply the name of your convention. That's my B, y'all, because I named it TantrumCon. I don't blame you. If you come in saying we're gonna have TantrumCon, we want to rent your hotel for multiple years, they got glass chandeliers and mirrors everywhere. It was probably a good decision. All right, let's head back to the couch.
Hey, welcome back to the couch. We are talking about Time Division from Heidelberg. This is a 2-player only game that is kind of interesting. The box cover. What? Also says Time Division.
Wow. And CGE is going to be distributing also in the United States.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about what the 2-player game Time Division is, Melissa.
Well, this game actually has 3 different eras. You can play them as a single game. We're doing Egypt. There is also, it's kind of, there's a plague doctor
It's like
on
a
it.
Plague Doctor.
So it's Dark Ages.
And then
the third is the 1980s.
1980s.
It has a cassette tape. So you can choose an era to play in, and it's going to have separate cards that you use for that. So this is a card kind of drafting playing game. Kevin and I are drawing 3 cards. We're choosing 1 to give to the other player, 1 to keep, and then 1 to go into this kind of neutral stack.
And we do this 3 times.
So if you have a good memory and you're not talking on camera, you can remember what you've given to the other player and what you've put into the past. All right, doing this very quickly.
Yep. All right. And after you draft, basically you're drafting, so you should end up with 6 cards in your hand. And I will show the camera my 6 cards.
The 6 cards. So Kevin randomly started out with the token for this round.
Yep.
So he's going to be the start player, and he's going to put one of his cards onto his little display area.
So, there we go. You can sort of see my cards. So I'm going to take a card. Sometimes you want to win a trick, sometimes you don't. It really depends. So I'm going to play this card here in the...
the 10.
Whoa, sorry.
The 10 is the highest card.
Yeah.
I get to see what he plays, and then I choose what to play. Whoever has the higher card gets to determine what happens.
Yep.
So most likely, Kevin is definitely going, so I want to play a good card because he's probably going to want to activate my card.
Maybe. And we'll tell you what happens. Alright, so if I activate your card, what happens, Melissa?
So Kevin has a choice. One card is going to be activated. The other card is going to be collected by the player who owns it and is going to be points at the end of that round. Yeah. So my card is I get to look through this neutral stack and activate one of the powers.
Okay, go for it.
So Kevin is choosing for me to activate the card. Yeah. So I get to...
I know which one you're looking for. She's looking for this card. Nope. Yeah, she's looking for this card, folks.
Alright.
But Mamos is thinking what happens is this card then gets put into the past, this card gets put in mine, and then hopefully it stays there for the whole game, and then I will score that many points at the end of the game, because how you win.
Alright, I'm going to activate this card, which says I can take one of the cards from here and put it into my scoring area.
Oh, very nice. Alright.
I could have activated yours gets put away, but I'm not going to be that mean.
Okay.
So I'm going to choose 7 points.
Okay.
These go here.
Then we play again.
Kevin goes first again because he had the highest.
Oh, and I just play face up, yeah.
Okay. Yours is you get to put one from the... Oh, a 10.
The 10.
But the 10 is already there.
Right.
So you're going to win no matter what.
Melissa's like super like, I'm going to win. What happens if we activate that?
So if we activate that, this will come here, and then next round,
you get to...
whatever you place here gets put into my score pile.
All right, let's do it.
So mine gets activated.
Yeah.
Kevin gets to choose what he puts there.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna put this one here,
Mm-hmm.
and then
I play a card.
Melissa plays a card. So the reason I keep going first is because I'm in control. If Melissa takes control, like hopefully she will this round, and I think this will be the last round
Yep.
that we play.
So
Melissa's taking control. She has a higher value, so this goes over here, flips over to the other side,
So
and
I
she gets to
choose-
decide which one activates.
all right. I will activate. This one's gonna activate no matter what, so it's gonna come to me. I don't want you trading things, so I will. Oh, actually, I'm gonna activate yours.
Okay.
You have to trade one of your cards
Yeah.
in the scoring with
Yeah.
one of mine.
Yeah.
I get to keep the 7 because I activated yours, and then this card says I get to keep that one.
Yeah. Melissa made out like a bandit. All right. So then at the end of the game, all your cards are going to be out, and you're going to count up who has the number of points on each side. Whoever has the most wins that.
Yeah, and they're cards that swap things, move things around, so it's really interesting, like which one's going to get activated and which one is going to go into the points pile.
It's a little mind bendy. This deck. So we talked about there's 3 different decks. This is probably the easiest deck, the Egypt deck. The Plague Doctor and the 1980s are much more intense, or
Even more interactive and
yeah.
things going on with the decks. But that is time division. Each game, era probably plays like 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, 15,
20
20 minutes, yeah.
So really quick. Time division. Heidelbar and CGE. All right.
I think people are going to join us.
Oh, everyone's coming here now, I think.
Yeah.
Talking about TantrumCon.
TantrumCon! We made it!
Still the same height.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming to TantrumCon. I noticed that many of you in the comments did. You asked some great questions. I think we'll take a couple minutes to try to answer some of those if we know them. I don't even know that we know all the answers. One of the questions was, how many games did we give away?
Oh,
Pallets.
Hundreds.
thousands.
Well, if we count in the
Yes.
I mean, we
in the
gave every
attendees
player
games,
a game.
I think between 2,000 and 3,000 games.
It had to have been because
Because
Every
we gave
attendee.
1,000
got
to
games.
attendees.
we gave
I bet
every
it was
attendee.
3. I bet it was 3.
It was
I
close
bet
to
it-
3.
I bet it was
It was
close
be-
to
I think it was between 2,000 to 3,000 games because, like we said, we gave every attendee 1 plus
We gave every attendee 2.
every attendee 2, so that's 2,000 games.
Premier Patches got a 3rd one, right?
Yeah.
So that's another 150. Plus, I mean, all the tournament meals, all the giveaways, all that kind of stuff. So it's probably
Learn
on the
plays,
upper end of
better
2 something, close to 3.
As someone who loaded the truck, I can assure you there were plenty of games at TantrumCon.
Without our volunteer crew, without Ryan and several other people, we would have died physically.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So
and
many games to load.
And with me, I died.
Yeah, he did die. He almost had to make it.
Yeah.
Whew. That was a fantastic one. Somebody asked how many badges were sold. I think Sarah was looking
There's
that up.
over 1,000.
Yeah, yeah, right around. Yeah, so that's what we're saying. Right around 1,000 attendees. So awesome.
Yeah.
Which is about 250 more than the previous year.
do we know the
So-
farthest country someone came from?
Ooh.
There was an intern from Germany who showed up.
Yes.
That's cool. Caitlin Fight had a student from Germany.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, Kurt
People came from Canada.
came
That's what I
from somewhere in Asia. This is kind of an asterisk because he's coming over for a few months, but he did time his trip, and TantrumCon lined up.
Hey, we'll
which
take it.
He is
That
a long-time attendee on the years that he's been in the U.S.
Do we have any West Coast people?
Yes. California, Colorado,
Canada.
Iowa,
Texas,
Canada.
I mean, that's not Texas,
Jay is Jay Cormier.
He's Canada, but
He's
I'm not
Canada.
sure which
Yeah.
Is
area.
it Vancouver or is it the closer side?
It might
Is
be
it
closer
Toronto?
to Toronto,
I don't remember.
but yeah, I'm not sure.
But definitely Canada.
Sorry, Jay.
From all over.
Yes.
I am working on a TantrumCon table flipping tournament video. I got to get all the footages because I got several cameras and several people sending me stuff. If you have like great footage that you want to send to me, you can shoot it to me, will@tantrumhouse.com. I would love to include it in the compilation. But that's coming soon. I have to catch up on the 3,000 emails I missed while yeah, that's on the list as well. Should we talk about some of our favorites? What's a standout memory? It doesn't have to be your number one favorite thing. because we might all have the same thing. I don't know, but what are some of the standouts for you guys? And then at home too, I'd love to know. I saw several people saying like playing with Grant and watching the Bonnecourt and Kurt Covert table flip, which I think is record breaking. Like, we probably should try to get in the Guinness for highest table flip. That thing was so high.
Do we need to institute rules for next year that they can't, like, grab the legs?
Should we follow the rules?
They have to use the top.
Or should we keep letting people be creative?
Gotcha. I have a quick shout
Sign
out.
those waivers.
Can I give a shout out?
Yeah.
So I saw in the chat, Nishant, you gave a shout out for my storytelling for Blood on the Clock Tower. I appreciate that. So I'm giving you a shout out for playing because you were hardcore out there. So we had a good time. We had a real good time.
The Saint roll got me though.
Whatever move he pulled the first time we played was epic. I'm still thinking through it. Great move. Good playing with you.
I feel like we need a tips now on Blood on the Clock Tower, how you play, like,
We do
tips to play.
Particular
Best
roles and whatnot. There's a lot of good stuff. So that was a fun one.
It was definitely one of my highlights. I will talk about it for a minute. In fact, we're doing shout outs. I'll give one to James, whose last name I don't even know.
Scott.
James Scott. If you're watching the show while you're in basic training this morning, probably not. I don't really know James, but I played Blood on the Clock Tower with him 3 total times now. I feel like we're brothers. We had a great time together. I was super excited. He's going into the National Guard. Is that what it is?
Yes.
See, I don't even know the full story.
Yep.
But he literally made last-minute plans to come to TantrumCon before heading out to basic. And so congrats to you. Safe travels, my friend. Glad that we could play games together. It's really cool that we've only played a couple times, but we know
How
each other
many games did you actually get to play?
Okay.
Because I only played 5.
I was probably in that range too.
Yeah.
Not many.
Played is tough. Did we count playing Chris Cormier's game? I didn't really play. I watched Kevin play.
You can
But
make that choice.
I was there helping him make decisions.
I don't know if that's playing.
I think I only played 8.
Okay.
I think I'm at 3.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Something like that.
Wait, 4, 5. I played 5 published games and
After
2
midnight.
prototypes. Every single one of those games started after 10:30 p.m.
How many games did you guys play? That's what I want to know, because I saw people playing 20 and 30 games. Which is
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
That doesn't surprise me.
Fantastic, sir. I did a couple learn to plays. I played several late night activity games. Some prototypes. Oh, I might have played more like 10. I forgot that I played Band Camp like 4 times.
I was like, oh, that's a good 20 games.
Counting is hard.
I played Wine Cellar. Is that the new one from
Yes.
yourself? That sounds really good. Did you guys get to try that one?
No.
I know we were all crazy busy, but that's gonna be a great one coming from 20th Century Games as well.
I really enjoyed the debut from Bezier Games of Sandbag.
Sandbags was fun.
It's a much more thinky trick-taking game. So on the higher level of trick-taking, and I like the game, and I'm glad that they were able to debut it at TantrumCon. I know it's not even going to be available till the summer, but it was fun that they were able to bring some copies, had a tournament about it, and just enjoy playing it and showing it off to people.
Sandbag was a good time.
Yeah, it was good.
So I enjoyed Kevin's magic show.
Oh.
I saw some
We were
people
First and last
astounded.
magic show.
I had fun watching Jonah watch Kevin's magic
Good
show.
time.
Has he not performed for you before?
I've seen some magic,
Yeah.
but I hadn't seen a show.
Like an official, from the stage.
Heaven is very magical and mystical. It's fantastic.
There were several good ones where I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this.
I also was thinking the floating card one, which I've done before for Will. Like that was the first one. Like how many people were like, "What just happened?"
The
Those
reaction
were-
from
was
the
ready.
crowd when Kevin floated the card, kind of at the beginning, was like, oh, "Okay, they're
It's
they're
gonna be
ready for the
real
magic."
magic.
This guy knows what's up.
This is not the neighbor kid down the street putting on a little magic show.
No. And I will be honest, I had a 45-minute show planned. I said, Melissa, I think it might just be 40 minutes because my tricks are going to go pretty quick. It was
I said that it was going to be longer.
an hour-long show.
It was good. It was the perfect link because it was.
One of the tricks Kevin did came to our house the day we left,
Wow.
like Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Kevin was
I was
doing
prepping.
his first practices in the hotel.
I was.
With the trick.
Yeah. I bought it specifically for TantrumCon.
And he crushed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, volunteer participation was fantastic. I don't know what that girl, whoever that girl was like, was she a plant?
No. I only had one plan. I won't tell you that.
Oh, what? It wasn't me. No, I want to know.
I would just put the codenames
Yeah,
cards
so-
on the board. There
yeah,
was
it was
no
not
plan.
Sarah.
There was no.
I did wonder if people thought there were a lot of plans because we don't ever get to see Kevin do magic 2 times, like maybe, and so we were all like, "Ooh, pick me, pick me!" I want to do magic. Get me on stage. I was like, they all think this is fake. They're like, Jonah already knows what card he's picking.
No, Jonah did not know.
I had no idea.
Jonah did not know about Cosmoctopus.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So Matt says playing Steam Court with Will was a ton of fun.
Steve Quirk.
And Brian, we
Steam
were with Brian. I'm
Court.
sure they had a great time with Brian too.
And
I
then
totally slipped in and missed my first play of that. Sorry. I'm glad many of you came back for the second round.
Yeah, Nishant mentioned Glom.
yes.
The
job, Melissa.
I never get to play it, so I was like, I'm putting it on the schedule so people can sign up to play with me, so I get a chance to play it.
Yeah,
And-
perfect.
And we did have a lot of fun with people's crazy sentences.
I heard the different phrases that people were coming up with were quite unique.
Yes. Matt had fun playing Ezra Nehemiah. That was one of my. I taught it 2 nights in a row, and one night we ended up taking 4 hours to play. So we ended up
That shouldn't take that
1:40 in the morning, and we were just having fun taking our time. It wasn't like any one player was going really slow. We were all just enjoying the game, and then we realized our turns are starting to get slower and slower because we're getting tired. But it was a lot of fun.
Oh, what did Nishant say?
The magic show.
Oh, thanks. Nishant was a part of the magic show. He
Yes.
was doing the code names. Appreciate
cool.
that. Yeah. And Makisha did a great job there. So yeah. I think we should give a big shout out to our sponsors. We mentioned the number of games we were able to give away.
Oh, yeah. Great idea.
We
Yeah.
couldn't do that without the
Yes.
publishers and the sponsors that were able to be a part of TantrumCon and partner with us to do that. So big shout out to all of them.
Yep, so let's list a few of those. One, Arcane Wonders provided a game for every attendee.
That was awesome.
Wise Wizard Games provided a game for every attendee.
Yep.
Hachette provided prizes for all the kids.
Plus more.
Plus more. So some of those we were able to give to a lot of families that were at the event.
Then we had some big ballroom sponsors, Keymaster, Bezier Games. We mentioned.
Yes.
Bezier had the ballroom sponsorship for one of the
Yep.
event
And
area.
then Game Toppers provided brand new mats that looked amazing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
Will
the
did a great
design
job.
of those mats.
Will did a great
A
job.
lot of people were
and-
talking about the design of the TantrumCon
They
mat.
turned out really well. Thank you
Yes.
guys who voted on those because there was a lot of fun ones to choose from, and that was the first time I'd seen them out, and I walked into that room and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
The fruits of my labor.
All Play provided games for all of our premier
Oh, yeah.
badges, and Grand Gamers Guild provided games for our volunteers, and then we also had enough that we could also spread some love to some of the other media members.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Because sometimes they get forgotten, and they do a lot of hard work. So we wanted to show love to them as well.
And then we had our Tournameals, and those sponsors gave usually about 10 to 16 games,
Oh, yeah. Plus
so
some
we
give-
could
yeah,
have
the prizes.
prizes,
Yeah.
a little bit of financial support, so we could pass on savings on the food price to our
Because the food
attendees.
parcels were expensive.
Hotel food is crazy.
So
Can of Coke like $6 or something? Blows your mind.
Yeah. Plus, it's in the middle of Charlotte, so
Yeah.
it's not only a hotel price; it's hotel in the middle of a city.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, Coralie, you do need to bring an extra suitcase when you come to Tantrum.
Indeed.
That's a great tip for
I
next
just
year.
was talking about Blood on the Clock Tower. What was he saying?
What's he saying?
he still dreams of.
Oh, love it. Love
That's
it.
the thing. You finish at 2:00 in the morning, and then you still don't go to sleep until 4 or 5. Because you just
Adrenaline.
all the
and
gears are
feels
moving.
great.
You're thinking, oh, what could I have done differently? How could I
if
go?
Will plays a game, I gotta plan a good 2 hours afterwards, no matter
The
what time of day it
adrenaline
is, that he needs to process everything that happened.
Yeah, it's the same with Anna because she'll have she's usually boots on the ground. You know, this is what it felt like playing, and then for me, I'm the storyteller, so it's this is what this looked like from my end, and it was hilarious because you had no idea what was going on.
We should be a big shout out to our volunteers too.
Yes.
We
Yes.
had so many great volunteers. I had volunteers saying, "Can I sign up to volunteer for next year?"
Yes.
I was like, "Not yet."
That's great.
But appreciate it.
That's great.
We love that nerd.
We love our
for sure.
volunteers.
They did a fantastic job, and then even the people who weren't paid or didn't get benefits from volunteering, there were a ton of people who were willing to help throw some stuff on the truck, roll up some mats, do some things. Super appreciate the audience of people who are willing to come and lend a hand. That's fantastic.
Yep.
We don't actually have details on next year yet, but we're trying to work on them now. So we'll hopefully have venue information and dates and all that kind of stuff coming to you. It's going to be a while. Let's just be honest. Don't get too excited. But you can go to TantrumCon.com. There is a sign-up page where you can put your email address in there to make sure you get notified when badges go on sale. It's probably not going to be till like September when we actually launch everything, but we'll hopefully drip out some information as we get it to you guys so that you can be ready.
Maybe earlier.
Word on the street is it's really hard to find venues because of the name.
Well,
shooting ourselves in the foot.
Cora Lou had the question earlier. I just remembered this in the chat. Where did Tantrum House get their name? And it's actually made it into Grant Lyon's comedy show. So he made fun of the fact that we made a name based on our kids' temper tantrums. But when Will and I first got married and had kids, we realized, one, we didn't have any money, and two, we couldn't pay for babysitters. So we started hosting game nights with some of our friends and neighbors, and that's how it all started.
There we go.
So we had kids running around in the background, and so sometimes it's a little loud, but most of the time they did great. And we're still hosting game nights every week.
So, and the name
15 years later. The name stuck, yeah.
Never ends.
That's that story.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Joni, want to close us out?
Let's close out by saying that we've got lots of stuff coming to our channel, like always. So most of the time, if you want to watch us play something live, that's going to be Thursdays. You can mark your calendar for that. We've got lots of things coming out on YouTube. Some of the social channels are going to have updates and posts and things like that. And the first Saturday of each and every month, we like to do our Saturday morning board game show, just like we did this morning. And we would love to see you here next month as well. But for now, we're done. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.